Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Ceesay.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Busel mo fine.
What?
Busel mo fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Busel mo fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
We are now with the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Service, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Always looking smart. I will never stop saying this. As long as you always come here smarter than the week before.
Well,
but who's your tailor?
Stop flattering me.
Flattering? Nah. Yes. Who's your tailor and where is he or she?
Well, that will remain to be a mystery.
Really?
Yes.
You're not sharing what is supposed to be public information.
It's not public information. That's private information.
Welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, and thanks for being here. All right, the usual practice.
Yes, any
updates?
I'll start with good news. The National Stadium, we all know, was banned by FIFA from hosting football games.
Yeah.
Now the ban has been temporarily lifted. So now CAF has granted approval for the independent.
Well, FIFA would work with us through CAF.
Yes.
So you could say FIFA. You could say CAF,
yeah.
Yes.
So the Bakau Stadium in Bakau, now CAF came to inspect. They've seen substantial improvements, and now they've given the go-ahead for Gambia to host our next two games. However, the approval is temporary, pending some conditions that must be fulfilled.
Before we can play the next game there?
We can play the next two games. 3rd May against Algeria in September, the World Cup qualifier. But before that, after those two games, we must fulfill certain conditions so we can continue playing on a permanent basis. So we've been given temporary reprieve to play. And these conditions are not that much. You know, the turf, the pitch itself is hybrid. And what that means is that it would need some special care and maintenance. You need some special equipment to be able to maintenance it properly. Now, we've procured that. It's on its way. And CAF had insisted that they see the equipment to ensure that it is in place. And because it's not here yet, that's the main condition. There are other operational conditions like match day barricade, CCTV in place, and also the road behind the stadium that has also already been contracted to a contract as part of the 50-kilometer OIC roads. Apart from those are the minor conditions and the equipment. Once those things are in place, we'll get a permanent approval to be playing our home games in Bakau.
Hooray! The Independence Stadium has been unbanned.
Yes.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations to the Minister of Youth and Sports. I know how much this meant to him because we're in cabinet with him and we worked with him very closely, so I know this must be a huge lift for him and a huge achievement as well. Remember, the stadium has not been renovated since 1983, and now they've done significant renovations to the stadium to the extent that it looked like a brand new stadium. So congratulations, and we thank Gambians for being patient as usual and for allowing the process.
Do you mean that?
Yes,
When you go on social media, I mean, listen, Bakari has taken a lot of stake.
But Peter, out of 2.5 million Gambians, if a few goes to vent their frustration over issues and so, it's quite understandable. But majority of Gambians were patient and were supporting the team wherever they are playing across the globe. So we thank Gambians for the patience, and I think that really came from my heart.
Thank you.
The second update is that the president has sworn in the commissioners of the Victims Reparations Commission. This is a huge milestone insofar as transitional justice is concerned in this country, but also to ensure that victims get the deserved reparations that they need. Now, the purpose of this Victims Reparations Commission is to design and develop and implement a comprehensive victims reparations project. What they'll start with is to create what they call the Victims National Database. Remember also that their mandate is not only to provide monetary reparation, but also non-monetary reparations, restoring dignity and ensuring that the Never Again mantra is upheld. I think this is good news, is good progress, is in line with government's policy to ensure that the TRRC recommendations are implemented to the fullest. So also congratulations to the Gambia, and also for the victims for being patient and for persevering all these years. It's been a very difficult period, considering what had happened during the 22 years of the previous government's rule, as highlighted by the TRRC revelations. So this is also good news.
Does their mandate also cover April 10 and 11, 2000?
If the TRRC covered that, yes, it should.
So you wouldn't know those details.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, the other thing has to do with the passports. The biometric passports prices will increase from 3,000, I think it's 3,100 to 5,100 from 1st of May 2025. Now, this has been inevitable. I remember.
Inevitable? Why?
Yes, because the contract was signed under Yajam in 2013. And in this contract, it's a 15-year contract. From 2013, 2014 to 2029, the contract will expire. Now, in this contract, there are clauses there which talks about the passport costs over time.
This is the contract with Semlex?
No, Africard.
Africard.
Africard is the one that is producing the biometric passports.
Okay. Now,
in tandem, the government was also producing through the immigration department the machine-readable passports. However, in the contract, these machine-readable passports should not have been printed, but because government wanted to create a system whereby people could have options, the machine-readables were allowed to be produced. But now we'll let them phase out as we go. The most important thing is that the biometric passports prices will increase to 5,100 in line with the contract. In fact, government was subsidizing the price of the passports for the past years. In the contract, in 2023, the prices would have gone up to $4,000 in line with the contract. But because government at that time understood that this was going to be expensive for many Gambians, we are subsidizing the price of the passports. And now, based on the contract, in 2025, the price should go to 5,100, and we are now ready to implement that. The Africa contract, people should know, was signed by Jame, was contracted to ZEDS. ZEDS is the parent body of Africard. In 2014, I was a BOT, a Bill, Operate and Transfer, which was supposed to last for 15 years, and that will end in 2029. However, the good news is that we are going to now expand the enrollment centers. So you don't have to come to Banjul to get a biometric passport now. We are going to open new enrollment centers in CRR, in I think it's in Janjambori or Makati. We are going to open one in Basse.
I didn't know the same. Makati is Janjambori.
Yeah, okay. In Basse, we are going to open one in Basse. We are going to open one in Lower River region in Soma. You can also apply for passports in North Bank region in Karawan. Not only that, also in the diaspora, we are also expanding the enrollment centers. Now you can apply for a biometric passport in the UK, in the USA, in Spain, and in Italy. In addition to that, there will be mobile team also that will be going around to other countries to ensure that people can now apply and get their biometric
mobile teams
passports.
going around to other countries?
Yes. It's all part of the contract.
At what
it's
cost?
All provided
at what cost to the country?
Well, I mean,
because already you have centers across the UK, USA, and other European countries.
There's only 4 enrollment centers. What about those who don't live in these countries? It's the same team that will be going around once in a while to ensure that there are those who live in.
So today they
Greece.
go to Angola, the next day they go to Mongolia.
I'm not sure the frequency and the destination.
I would love to be part of the team and collect per diem.
What I know is that it's a service. It's a fundamental service that the government must provide to its people, and I think to provide that service, we need to do everything possible to ensure government have access to a passport, which is a service, and is one of the responsibilities of a government to provide that service to citizens. And whatever we can do as a government, we will do it. Now, the good news is that we are expanding the enrollment centers, and now you don't have to come to Banjul, both nationally and internationally. Now you can apply for passports where they are. But
it's commendable.
this is the news coming from the And the machine readables are phasing out because they are mostly rejected by many even in fact this year's Hajj package did not accept the machine readable, so they'll be phasing out very soon, and we can now just focus on the biometric passport.
So would-be pilgrims must get a biometric passport.
Yes, that's why they are phasing out. So that's it. But the most important thing is that we are stuck. This is one of the legacies of the previous government. We are stuck with this contract, and we don't have a choice but to implement it because a contract is a contract.
True.
And it will expire in 2029
I
as
agree.
a BOT. Yes.
What about the car powership contract? Because we understand NAWEC wants to end it, but government is reluctant to give the okay.
I don't have the details. I just saw it on the news. I'm not sure. I did not inquire about it.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, that NAWEC. I mean, everybody was blaming NAWEC for wanting this car powership contract to go on sine die. Now NAWEC is saying at the end of April or May, is it? They're not interested in extending a contract. And government, which should, give the green light, is said to be dragging its feet.
I'm yet to confirm that story, whether government really is taking that position. I think NAWEC is the decider. NAWEC is the provider of energy, and NAWEC thinks that they can have alternative sources of energy.
Car powership came to help NAWEC. If NAWEC is saying, we are okay now, we are good to go without car powership, let's let go of car powership.
Well, I would not see any problem in that.
Okay.
And I would not.
I hope by the time you come back to the program.
I would not anticipate government interfering in that process.
Fantastic.
Yes, I think those are the updates from government. Yes. So, the floor is yours.
Would you like to talk about Hakalang? You were on the road with the president last week.
Indeed.
Thursday, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah.
I was on a Wednesday.
Oh, was it Wednesday?
April 9th. Thursday was cabinet.
Okay.
Yes, the president embarked on a road project inspection exercise in the North Bank, but also in the South Bank. We started in SL, where a new GNPC filling station was inspected, and then we proceeded to the famous Hakalang Road, an 88
indeed famous,
an 85 kilometer road, a very
it is that long.
It's a very critical project. It's traversing Lower Nyomi, Upper Nyomi towards Jokado, connecting communities, boosting trade and tourism in that area.
We're not sure about the trade and tourism.
Of course, it will.
Connecting communities, yes.
It will boost trade and tourism because remember,
that's aspirational.
It's not aspirational. Most of our tourism heritage sites are in that part of the country, in the North Bank.
That is correct.
In Jinak.
But we haven't going there in droves yet.
Yeah, because maybe the road infrastructure wasn't as good as it is now. So now it can boost trade and tourism. It can also boost trade in terms of now farmers can now easily have access to markets. So it's a very critical road. It's almost 88 to 89% complete. Remember, it is 100% funded by the Gambia government. Such an important national infrastructure, costing a lot of money. From there, we proceeded to also.
How much money do you know?
I don't have the figures in my head. Then we went to visit a school in Dobo, in Badibu. It's a new school, new classrooms built there as well. This is part of government's policy to ensure access to education for rural communities. But also from there, we also inspected a very critical road connecting Bani, Salikenye, and Jabakunda, a very important road, which is also progressing. Then we proceeded to another critical road in the Lower River region. That road, the Kiang West Road, a very critical road. It's not been built since independence, and the people of Kiang have been always complaining for that road to be built, starting from Sankandi towards Joli, towards or to the end to Misera Tenda. Almost, it's about, that is also over 80 kilometers, almost 90 kilometers. It's a very critical road. It's almost complete. Also, when it's done, we'll do the same thing, connect communities, boost trade and tourism. So it's a very critical road. So those were the inspections that the president did, and by and large, the president is happy with the progress of the roads.
Fantastic. Yeah, Gambians reacting to news of the Independence Stadium already. Hi, Peter. Good morning to you and the Honorable Minister. Congratulations to all who worked tirelessly to ensure we can now use our Independence Stadium for international matches. I'm more concerned with an effective, functional scoreboard. Oh, don't choke on me, yeah?
Sorry.
It's after Ramadan. We can get you water. Martin, arrange some water for
Please.
the Honorable Minister while I go through the text message. I'll take it from the top again. Hi, Peter. Good morning to you and the Honorable Minister. Congratulations to all who worked tirelessly to ensure we can now use our independent stadium for international matches. I'm more concerned with an effective functional scoreboard and clean toilet facilities with permanent cleaners to maintain cleanliness during matches at all times. This is coming from Rodin Renner. Well, I think that's a message more for the manager of the Independence Stadium, Mr. Ibu Fai, than it is for the minister. I'll let you come. Go ahead.
That's an operational issue. Yeah. That's for the stadium management to ensure that the stadium is in a good shape at all time. What government has done is to spend millions of taxpayers' money to get us next to brand new stadium. I think now it's left for the stadium management team to do what they need to do. That is to ensure that the stadium is well maintained and well kept.
Fantastic. Good morning, sir. Congratulations on the temporary approval of the stadium after 4 years. Senegal was able to repair 4 stadia in 3 years through bilateral arrangements with China. China gave us the Independence Stadium. Why was that option not explored? It probably would have saved us from this huge spend.
Well, you can't. Sometimes desires are not met by the reality. I don't know why that didn't happen. I am pretty much sure that if that option was on the table, the government would have happily used that option. But I don't know why that didn't happen. There could be many reasons for that.
All right. Well, I was going to raise my own issues with you, but the text messages are coming in thick and fast. Good morning, Peter. Please ask the minister whether the government is aware of the increasing number of Gambians in our country. This is not about statistics. It is empirical evidence. I agree we should accommodate the increasing number of non-Gambians in our country. You would expect Gambians, to increase in their own countries. Yeah, let me just correct that. Whether the government is aware of the increasing number of non-Gambians in our country. This is not about statistics, it's empirical evidence. I agree we should accommodate aliens, he calls them, but not at the detriment of the citizens. This is alarming. I just hope and pray I'm not portrayed as UDP sympathizer. I believe this should be national concern, not based on political line.
Well, we as a government has a policy that anybody has a right to reside in Gambia as long as you regularize your stay. We are not in a xenophobic country. Gambians are living all over the world. Gambians are living in Europe, in Africa, in Asia. Therefore, if people think that Gambia is a peaceful country where they can live and reside and be lawful citizens, not citizens, but residents, and contribute to national development, we welcome them. So we cannot come up with xenophobic policies where we want to restrict who comes to the Gambia. This is good news. It shows Gambia is a peaceful country and is a good destination, a friendly destination. People to come and reside. Empirical evidence suggests that you give us the numbers. I mean, if he's suggesting it's empirical evidence, I would have been very happy to get the numbers from that person who was texting. That is empirical evidence. We don't know the numbers. What we know is that people move. Migration is something that you cannot stop. People move. People go and are attracted to destinations where they can live happily and in peace. Gambians are moving every part of the world. People who think that they can come to the Gambia to reside and contribute, they are welcome.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Ask Dr. Ceesay whether he knows that the Sankandi-Karantaba road is 35 kilometers, not 50 kilometers, as President Barrow says.
It didn't stop on Karantaba. It proceeded all the way to Misra Tenda. So it traverses Karantaba as well. So that's it.
Okay. Good morning, Peter. The unbanning of matches can't be celebrated when in the 21st century, Gambia should have registered another state-of-the-art stadium. Is Gambia not thinking of co-hosting the Africa Cup of Nations, but not with a less than 30,000 capacity stadium? For me, it's no improvement in the area of sports at all, and this is Celestine Kujabi.
Well, I think there has been significant improvement in the area of sports in the Gambia, considering the fact that we've qualified for major tournaments at both in different sports, in volleyball, in basketball, in
He's talking about infrastructure.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, it's based on need. The government is thinking of building a new stadium. But for now, it is not a top priority. We have other priorities like infrastructure, road infrastructure, hospitals, schools, and other social interventions. So, I mean, it's in our plans, but it's not a top priority.
All right. Interesting. Government can go around to provide the service of registering passports abroad, but apparently lacks funds and mechanism to register Gambians abroad to vote in elections as required by law. This is Lamin Sanyang.
Well, these are two different things, like comparing apples and oranges. Registering Gambians to vote is different from providing Gambians with access to passport. So these are two different things. Mm-hmm. The logistics are different. The legal frameworks are different. So you can compare the two.
Mm-hmm. Please kindly ask Minister Ceesay about the electrical issue of we the people of Rumba and Sare Biji village, which he said 2 weeks ago that he was not aware of, but promised to ask the Minister of Energy, Nani Juara, why these villages don't have electricity.
In fact, I did.
Okay, so give us an
I did ask him.
Give us an update.
It's good that he brought this again. I asked the minister. Yes. I asked him, and he told me that it's part of the plan. The Chinese government is supporting electricity expansion in the West Coast region. Rumba and Sarebeja are one of these communities to benefit from this as soon as possible. So they are in the plans.
Okay. Greetings, Uncle Peter. I'm among those teachers who attended days of workshop, TOT, on the Wolof National Anthem at the regional office in Canifing in January 2025 for the preparation of the Diamond Jubilee. We were assured transport refund, but up till now, nothing is paid through the regional office under MOPSI. Why? Please ask the Minister of Information.
Well, I cannot answer that question. That is for MOPSI to answer. I'll relay the message to MOPSI.
That's not good enough. You should come here ready to answer any question. All right, let's go back to, if you want to send us a message, please use the 7711599, 7711599, both normal SMS text message and WhatsApp. That's the phone I have in my hand. The other one with the 9232333 is misbehaving, so I've just, put it away. Ask the minister what safeguards are there to avoid abuse. Example, Gambian passports indiscriminately issued to foreigners. Already government is making a case that not all the 3,000 people due for deportation from the U.S. are Gambians. Will that not continue with decentralized and mobile issuing centers? For all I know, many foreigners are already Gambian voters. Will they now not acquire our passports when central control is loosened?
But still central control is the immigration department that has the mandate to issue passports. So it doesn't mean that because it's mobile and it's in other countries, it is going to be done by another agency. It's still going to be the Gambia immigration department that will issue the passports in line with the law. There are strong safeguards. Our passport, in fact, recently there has been a publication that our passports in West Africa are number one in terms of...
we're number one?
Yeah, of course, in West Africa. So the safeguards are in place.
In what sense? In what sense are we number one? Security or...
I think it's... I don't know the details.
The number of countries it allows you to travel to.
That's one of the things, but also in terms of safety and other things. They looked at... It's an index that looks at passports in Africa. I think in Africa we are number 2 or 3 or 4, I can't remember.
Overall?
I know in West Africa we are number 1.
Fantastic.
There are robust systems in place to ensure in terms of issuing of Gambian passports. And we are aware that a passport is the integrity of any passport is very important for any country. So these systems are in place. It is still going to be a Gambia immigration department that will issue these passports. So in line with the law and the procedures. So we don't have any issue on that.
Okay. Please, Uncle Peter, ask the minister whether he is aware that patients at the Brikama Health Center pay $3 to use the toilet because of an overflowing public toilet. What is government or local council doing to alleviate the inconvenience?
Well, that's that question should go to the council.
I can hear a Pandora's box opened here.
No, that question should go to the council.
Oh, okay. That's how you will deal with that. I thought you were just going to seize on that, to castigate, BAC. But thank God you're not doing that.
Excellent jam, Ceesay.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
This will be fine. fine. Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bustle mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Good morning. About official email address, the gov.gm email addresses for public officials have been down for some time. Inquire from the Honorable Minister whether the situation has been resolved or if any improvements have been made.
Well, there has been a government policy that all public officials must use the government email, official email. The official email. Mm-hmm. This is for two critical reasons. One is institutional memory, but also security. Now, we are aware that sometimes there has been issues with the gov.gm email, because I use it always. We've made this complaint to Mogdi to look at this. I think they're working on it. I've not got any feedback yet as to why this is the case, but we've had complaints from, some say it's working fine with them. Some say they're having issues, so we don't really know. This is the domain of Mogdi, that is the Minister of Digital Economy. I'll raise this issue again with them. I've raised it before, and I'll raise it again with them to see what the issue is and how it can be resolved as soon as possible.
When did you raise it before? While you were overseeing, before the appointment of, is it Jabang or Jabi?
Jabi, yes. Okay. I raised it. Some people raised it when I was there. They were looking at it, and they said that one of the things that came up was that if you don't use it frequently, if you send an email, it bounces back thinking that it's a spam. But I don't know. To be honest, these are technical issues. We'll raise it again with the minister and see what can be done to ensure that this thing works smoothly and efficiently.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. What is the purpose of providing passport service to diaspora if the government denied them the right to vote because of resource constraints? Are they not contradicting themselves?
The government did not deny the diaspora the right to vote. The right to vote is given to every Gambian. Like I said, government policy is that we extend the franchise to every Gambian no matter where you are. Now, it's Parliament that voted to remove that clause based on technical legal considerations that the Constitution doesn't really allow for the diaspora to vote. That's an argument made by the parliamentarians, so it's not the government. What the government has a responsibility is to ensure every Gambian has access to a passport if they need it, and these are responsibility, and we are fulfilling that responsibility. Good
morning. I completely agree with you. If you cannot condemn Jammeh for his wife going out of the country for shopping, then no way can you go against Barrow's mom's medical checkup in Dakar. Bias is our number one problem as Gambians. We should learn to call a spade, no matter from who. I think that's in response to Alaji Barrow's piece earlier, so that's not for Dr. Ceesay to address. Hello, Uncle. Please kindly tell Doctor to inform the President and the IGP that there are very unscrupulous officers at certain police stations that request huge cash from old parents whose kids have cases at the station for bail. And I was told bail was free.
Well, I'm not a legal person. What I know from my little knowledge about these things is that if it's a bail at a court to prevent flight, they normally put a bail bond on you to say pay this amount of money, or is a landed property, or some amount of money, and somebody will come and have to bail you, something like that. When it comes to police, I'm not sure, I'm not aware, and I don't even think that the police should receive money to bail people. On what basis, I don't know. Is it on law? I don't know. But this is a very important information that I will really relay to the IGP, and I'll escalate it to see what can be done. But in my little knowledge, I'm not aware of any situation where the police should receive money to bail people.
I can give you more details because I just read only half of the text message. Brusubi Station does this all the time, requesting about $3,000 from an old woman for bail. This is very bad. We complain that the police salary isn't enough, but some are very callous, Uncle Peter.
Well, this is good. I mean, this is what we expect from the public, that when they see things that they think are inappropriate, they raise it up. We will escalate this to the IGP's level, and they'll investigate. If it is the case that there is no law and no law to take bail from people, then the police will investigate this matter and take it very seriously.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Ask the minister about the high rate of crime and deaths in the country.
When you say high rate of crime and deaths, what do you mean? I think it's important that we are specific. What we have as a data is that crime rates have been stabilized and they've gone down. Gambia, and I'm going to repeat this again, Peter, is peaceful and relatively secure and stable. Yes, there are challenges here and there so far as crime is concerned, but I don't see a situation where every day we wake up to murders and killings, and we are not in that situation. Recently, what we've seen as a trend is a few cases of suicide, and these are things that no police in the world. Yeah, but suicide it's a social phenomenon, and many reasons can...
We're just saying the frequency of it now.
Now, yes, exactly.
It's worrying because...
Sometimes let's look at things also in wider context and in a different perspective. If you look at it over 1 year, how many suicide cases? These things could have been spread over 1 year, and people not raise alarm. Because I think we had only 3 or 4 suicide cases within a very short period. So at the end of the day, when we look at data or statistics, we look at over a 12-month period. So after the 12-month period, we will realize that perhaps there has not been a significant improvement in the suicide cases. That from last year, because for example, for the Ramhiato, we are in almost May. From now to December, if we've not seen any another suicide cases...
We are in April. What's wrong with
That's what I'm saying. We are going towards May. So what we do is, at the end of the day, we look at year on year to say, okay, last year, there were 4 suicide cases. This year, if it's 4, there has not been an increment. But what we've seen is that within a very short period, we've seen 3 or 4 suicide cases. It's worrying. The police and social welfare will take this very seriously, because when it comes to suicide, it's not only policing issue, it's a social issue as well. Like social welfare should also look at these things. In other countries, they do comprehensive studies to see why it is happening. It could be mental health. It could be social stress. It could be many reasons why these things happen.
Could be cost of living.
Well, it's possible until we do a study to really ascertain why there has been a surge. If there is a surge, I'm not sure even there is a surge, we'll know that at the end of the year. If, for example, when the year ends and we realize that this year we've seen a 25-30% increment in number of suicide cases compared to last year, then we'll say that's a social problem, and a social problem needs a scientific approach to understand why it is happening and to intervene.
Good morning, Peter. Please ask the minister why the Gambian passport is not being printed as at now. The printing is not going on. Why?
Well, I don't have any details on that. It depends on which passport. Is it the biometric passport or the machine-readable passports? I think it would be important to know which one is not printing.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Uncle. What is government doing about the scammer in State House? We have lots of them there.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not aware of any scammers at State House.
Good morning, Mr. Gomez. Can you tell the minister, before talking of surpassing the passport fees, there is no single MRP passport issued since last month. I think it is high time now for the Minister of Interior and the government to concentrate and provide a permanent solution to this at the immigration headquarters, and this is coming from Ibrahim Acham.
But the MRP is a machine-readable passport, like we say.
Yeah, but they're saying they're not being printed
because it's phasing out. Most countries don't accept them anymore. So it's phasing out. I think people should now start getting the biometric passport, because the machine-readable is phasing out, and very soon you won't find them anywhere.
Good morning, Peter. Is it right or legal for a minister to have a business? This is a result of the Minister of Local Government stating that he sells meat as a herdsman. He did so during the Korite meeting of the Muslim elders with the president. Did he?
I can't remember that statement. So I can't remember that statement. So I won't comment on that.
Were you not at the event?
I mean, I was at the event, but I can't really.
But as a minister, can you also have, your own private business?
Well, the law forbids it. The Constitution says ministers should not engage in any activity that is generating income for them. They should not basically do business. Okay. That's what the law says.
So, Hamad, if mistakenly you said that you sell meat as a herdsman, stop it. Okay, the guy who asked about the gov.gm email just said, good response, but we will follow it up. Thanks, Peter. So at least, a satisfactory response. All right. So, actually, speaking of this Jabi, have you spoken to him about coming on the show?
Yes, I did, and he's very eager to come. He'll be happy to come.
Seriously?
I think after the Easter, I'll arrange something for him to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Although the Tuesday immediately after Easter, we've sold the entire airtime, so maybe you
after that.
Okay. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Congratulations to you and your team. May the radio one day have its own TV. Amen. Can you kindly ask the minister if the government has any plans to build a rehabilitation center for the youths of this nation? Because the youths of this nation are turning into junkies, which is very sad for the nation.
Well, we are currently building one with support from ECOWAS in Brusubi Heights. The foundation stone was laid.
Brusubi Heights or Tranquil?
Tranquil. Sorry, Bruford Heights, not Brusubi Heights.
No, Tranquil.
It's the same area.
Is it not the one that NDMA?
It's Bruford. Yeah, the NDMA is building. Yeah, it's Bruford Heights. Yes, the league is building it with support from ECOWAS. The foundation stone was laid, and I think work is progressing with speed. And very soon we'll have a first rehab center in this country. So that is ongoing for public information.
All right. And this is somebody who is teasing you. Please tell Mr. Ceesay that he should big up his barber Joe as well. He always makes him look younger.
Yes, that's Joe in Bakau, in Newtown. Yes.
Oh, okay. So now we know where to go, to...
Yes.
Yeah, don't do any advertisement here.
He takes care of me.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Gomez. Ask the Honorable Minister if the passport is increased. Are the Gambians going to have the same struggle during the procedure? And this is coming from Mohammed Sultan Drame.
No, like I said, the price will increase in line with the contract. It's a contractual obligation that the Gambia cannot.
His question is, will it be
after
the increase
that is why
the
we
same
said,
struggle to get the passport?
No, that is why we said we have expanded the enrollment centers so that you can able to conveniently get your passport in Basse if you live in Basse, in Soma if you live in the Lower River region, in Kerawan if you live in the North Bank, but also in Makati if you live in the Central River region. But also we are saying that if you live in the diaspora, you can also get the passport easily. So the purpose of this is to ensure that Gambians can conveniently and without hassle get access to passports if they so need it.
7711599. We're with the minister right up to the top of the hour, so he's got about what, another 10 minutes or so. 7711599, both normal text and SMS messages. The government is being, well, let me not say the government, the president is being accused of trying to divide Gambians using religion by establishing another Muslim elders. Is it a council or
an advisory council?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, obviously, Peter, anybody who knows the president knows there is a unifier.
Why, what does he need it for? There's already the Supreme Islamic Council.
The Supreme Islamic Council has a different mandate. Their mandate is more expansive, and they are an authority, more statutory. So this is an informal advisory council that the president set up. I think the people complaining, particularly the UDP, they like to politicize everything, and not everything can be politicized. So what is important is that the president is a unifier. The president does everything to ensure that the country is united, to promote the peace in this country. He wouldn't do anything to divide this country. That is not his intention. That will never be his intention. But again, like I said, even if the president coughs, it is politicized. And this is one case of such politicization by the UDP. I think the complaint is only coming from the UDP. Gambians understand the purpose of this advisory council. It's to advise the government on religious issues informally. So the Supreme Islamic Council's powers and mandate is more expansive more comprehensive. So for me, it's a matter of politicization. Nothing is wrong with this advisory council. I think the people who are in this advisory council, some of them are either in the Supreme Islamic Council or are once in the Supreme Islamic Council, and if they know that it contravenes what the Supreme Islamic Council does or it duplicates their mandate, they wouldn't be part of this. So for me, I think, Peter, there are more important issues. The government is focusing on uniting this country, focusing on providing social services to Gambians, providing the right road networks through building road infrastructure, providing healthcare to Gambians by building healthcare facilities and equipping them with state-of-the-art equipment, providing educational services to Gambians, quality education, accessible. That's what we are focusing. We are focused on supporting the farmers. And you see what we've done for farmers. No other government has done it for farmers since independence. And that is the fact. So that is our focus, Peter. Let others focus on politicizing every issue the president does. The president is focusing on delivering to Gambians in line with his mandate to deliver. And that is what we are focusing on.
So you say this is a council, an advisory council that will advise him on religious affairs?
Part of the thing that they'll do is to advise government on religious affairs.
No, qualify the religious affairs, because they wouldn't be advising them on, Christian affairs.
Well, who said that?
You said religious affairs.
But
is Christianity not a religion?
No, what I'm saying is that as an advisory council...
Or don't you consider Christianity a religion?
They can advise the president on issues that has to be all religions in this country. It doesn't have to only be...
they can advise Muslim, on Christianity?
Not in terms of the specifics, but perhaps if there is a misunderstanding, the president can send them somewhere to solve those issues. So for me,
it takes a misunderstanding between Christians and Muslims. Thank God we don't have that. And I hope you're not praying for misunderstanding between Christians and Muslims in this country.
When people live together, Peter, these things can be inevitable. There can be some issues like we've seen before whereby people take things into their own hands, and this council can be able to do those things and discuss those issues. The purpose is to promote to promote peaceful coexistence in this country.
Let me put the question more directly. Mm-hmm. So he has an advisory council on Islamic religious affairs. Yes. When will he have an advisory council on Christian religious affairs? Because we have the same right to the president.
Well, that question is for the president to answer.
Will you try and get us an answer?
We will take note on that.
Because we Christians demand our rights as citizens.
But the rights have been granted as citizens, Peter. I think this is one of the countries where minority rights are respected and promoted, and nobody can really deny that. And as a government, the policy is to ensure that there is peaceful coexistence and that all minorities, minority rights in this country are promoted and protected. Both ethnic minorities, religious minorities, you name it. That is not an issue.
And you can see, just from this conversation, you can see why the UDP is saying this move is divisive.
It is not divisive. We just agree with that. What the UDP is doing is to politicize the move, and which I think is trivial. They should not do that. The move is not meant to divide anybody, any religion, any ethnic group, or any nation. The move is geared towards augmenting and promoting the peaceful coexistence we have in this country and promoting and consolidating the peace we have in this country. So for me, anybody who really thinks that it is divisive and the move is intended to divide, I think that is disingenuous, and I think it's politicizing an issue that should not be politicized.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Can you please ask the minister how far is the Spain circular migration?
Well, it's I'm not sure the specifics. I know that we've received 10,000 applicants. Currently, the process to select should start. If it has not started, I think the Minister of Trade will inform the public with updates in due course.
Uncle Peter, Brusubi Police Station has done it to me on the 2nd of last Friday of Ramadan. 2 of us each paid $500 for fighting, while the guy was charged $4,000 for offending us with his white lady.
Well, like I said, I don't know the basis of these charges. I think the IGP will take note and will investigate. If these charges are not in line with the law, I think appropriate action will be taken.
The passport should now have 10 years lifespan instead of 5.
Well, it depends on what is in the contract. Like I said, it's a contract.
No, you have a contract only for Africa to make the passport.
Yes.
The duration of the passport is a matter for us Gambians.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That I don't know.
No, you're saying it depends on the contract. You said it depends on the contract.
Also on the law or the regulations. I'm not sure. I cannot really respond to that. What I know is that passports have 5 years in many countries, and in the Gambia it's 5 years.
Uncle Peter,
and there are obvious reasons for that. obviously.
Uncle Peter, Islam is not the only religion in the Gambia. Of course, I know that, and I've put that to the minister. Let's move on. Hi, Uncle. Can you please ask Dr. Ceesay when will they resume issuing NRP passports to Gambia from Buba Balde?
It's the same machine-readable passports. Like I said, I don't know the details. What I know is that they are phasing out, and very soon they won't be issued.
Good morning. Please ask Dr. Ceesay why board schools get their salaries late. This is coming from Mr. Jallo.
Well, I will transmit that.
You should know everything about
I will
government.
transmit, but it's good. I mean, the purpose of this exercise is not only to answer all questions, but also to get information, take back and get the answers later. I'll take this to the appropriate minister, and I'll get response, hopefully.
Our education system has failed. Health, energy, no good road, high cost of living. Those are, well, you seem to know. Those are the words of Dr. Ceesay. And I suppose this was when you were in opposition. Now you are not.
Now I'm information minister.
Ismaila, I am not UDP, but this cannot be justified by you. We cannot have Supreme Islamic Council and that so-called body. We cannot be fooled by the government. I suppose that so-called body would be this advisory.
Well, Peter, that's democracy. People have their opinions on issues. What is important is the government's intention and government, what they want to do, and our policy as a government. That is what is important. And one thing I know is that the policy, which is our policy as a government, is to promote religion, to promote religious tolerance in this country, to promote peaceful coexistence among all groups, to promote and protect minority rights, and to promote and consolidate our peace. That is the president's preoccupation on a daily basis. So whatever he does is judged towards achieving these goals.
Hello, Peter. Can you please ask the minister if the new advisory council will advise the president on Muslim issues as well as Christian issues? We have dealt with that. Let the minister remember he was doing the same thing he's now accusing UDP. They know why UDP will remain a threat for them, which every Gambian knows. Let him remember their videos and audios of being critics of the government will always tell people who really are these people.
Personal opinion.
Yeah? You don't concur?
No.
When you
I don't.
When you were in opposition, you were not hitting the government.
I'm here to discuss government policy. If we can move on to the next question, please.
Honorable Minister, with all the money spent on the Independence Celebration Diamond Jubilee, teachers voluntarily attended days of workshops without even eating at the regional office for the national anthem in Wolof. Whenever we ask them, they always mention one Mr. Mendy, a member of the organizing committee. Please, we need to know why are we not paid 3 months on? So this.
Well, I mean, there are two things here: voluntary and paid. Those things don't go together. Was it a voluntary service we are rendering to the nation, or were they expected to be paid for that service? But like I said, this is not under my domain. I'll escalate this to get the answers.
I'll make this the last one because it's almost 10. Good morning, Uncle Peter. About the Muslim Advisory Council, they're just trying to make things complicated for the Supreme Islamic Council. In the end, the two agencies will be hitting at each other.
No way. I think the government has a very good relationship with the Supreme Islamic Council and has given it the autonomy it deserves to do and fulfill their mandate. I don't see any problem there. And like I said, this in no way suggests that the president is trying to divide or diminish the role of the Supreme Islamic Council. In fact, what it does is to augment their role and to support and complement their role. That is the purpose of this advisory council. Like I said, it's a democracy. People can think whatever they want to think. What is important is what the president's intention is and what the government's policy is. And government policy, I've repeated, is to promote peaceful coexistence among all religious groups. Even different sects within religions is promoted and rights are given. For the first time in this, we all know the relationship between, at that time before, when it comes to Eid prayers and disagreements on when to pray, when not to pray. The government has really given Supreme Islamic the autonomy to decide when to pray, and also other groups to decide when they want to pray without restricting anybody from praying in terms of Eid and all those things. So government is really this for the first time since Jawara, we are really experiencing a true secular Gambian society where all religions are given equal opportunity and equal rights and are protected and their rights are promoted. That is what is important as a government. For us, everything else is trivial and politicization.
Dr. Ceesay, thanks for coming. Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, bringing us to the end of today's program. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.
Axila jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.